Good morning. This is Scott from Scott Shot Media. Today is Wednesday, November 25th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. Starting with traffic. Traffic is going to look great today and hopefully over the weekend, long holiday weekend as well. There are no CalTrans projects scheduled today or over the weekend. And there's no major accidents or incidents to report, so everything's wide open right now. The biggest news is the Santa Ana wind event that's still forecasted to be here on Thursday and Friday. It's sort of a good news, bad news. The winds may be a little bit stronger than originally forecasted, but the event duration should be a little shorter. So it was supposed to linger maybe even through Friday night into Saturday. Now it looks like it's going to come here to maybe start tomorrow morning on Thanksgiving, peak over Thursday night in the early hours of Friday morning, and then be gone by Friday afternoon. Because of that, no surprise, there's a fire weather watch issued for most of Southern California and specifically for the mountain communities. There are currently no major incidents or fires going on the mountain right now. If you were following along yesterday, we had our second structure fire in the Crestline area in as many days. Yesterday it was in Cedarpines Park, another heavily damaged house. We are going to be under a critical fire weather watch on the western half of the mountain and an elevated fire watch on the eastern half for both Thursday and Friday. As far as crimes go, we just had one reported yesterday, which is good news. And Edison does not have any scheduled maintenance outages for today. Maybe they're getting ready, resting up their crews in case there are issues with the Santa Ana winds. And many mountain residents received notices yesterday that their power may be shut off due to this fire weather. So be prepared. Make sure it's going to be cold, especially overnight, and blustery. So make sure your chimney is clean. If you're going to have a fire in your fireplace, make sure you have a screen on your fireplace in case you lose power and you need heat. Definitely do not use propane indoors and follow all the other safety precautions that go along with a power outage, especially having a fire extinguisher ready. That's all that we have for you today. If you have a few minutes to stick around, we'll go into greater details, starting with traffic. Right now, there are no incidents to report. Traffic's wide open, no closures. CalTrans has no closures, no maintenance scheduled today. And that will be the same for the long holiday weekend. So hopefully we'll have some good commuting on the highways, some safe commuting on the highways. Weather is the biggest topic to discuss today. Mostly sunny, about average temperatures, but starting tomorrow on Thanksgiving into the evening, the Santa Ana wind event, which will last for maybe just a little over 24 hours. So Thursday night into Friday night. But we're expecting it's a kind of a good news, bad news situation. The duration of the event is shorter. It was forecasted to linger into Saturday, but now it looks like it'll end earlier than that. But some of the peak wind gusts will be a little stronger than originally forecasted. So as such, we should be prepared for power outages, both public safety outages from Southern California Edison, as well as the possibility of damaged power lines because of tree branches, which is going to be possible with this type of gusting. National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch. It's elevated for the eastern half of the mountains and critical fire watch for the western half of the mountain, basically from Arrow Bear west. We're under critical fire. From Arrow Bear east, it's elevated. So a fire weather watch is in effect beginning tomorrow. It was issued this morning, but it's probably not going to take effect until tomorrow, and then it'll last as long as these winds last. So hopefully by 10 p.m. on Friday. That'll be lifted. So more good news, bad news. Like I mentioned, we're still at a moderate threat for today and tomorrow. Saturday, we were at a marginal threat that has gone away. Our wind speeds have increased slightly as far as our gust goes. Our peak gust, at least on the west half of the mountain, should be about 33 miles an hour overnight. Thursday night, Friday morning. But the good news is that our fuel moisture content isn't as dry as originally forecasted as well. So that's good news as far as potential fire starts and spread go. But through Thursday and Friday, we are still at a moderate risk of spread on the mountain, moderate risk for a new start on the mountain, and this elevated fire risk. We will be at a moderate risk once this event is over until we can get some moisture on the ground. So as such, the Forest Service still has us under an extreme fire danger and all of the restrictions that go in place with that. And until we can get a significant snowfall again, we will be at a elevated fire risk probably through the end of the year. As far as current fire activity, there's a report of a fire down at the bottom of the 330. We get this all the time at the Arrowhead Springs down there. There's hot springs, and especially when it's a cool morning, there's steam that comes from that. So I was trying to listen while I was preparing this report, and I didn't hear a whole lot of activity. So I'm going to go with the fact that this wasn't a fire. This was a false alarm. A couple other false alarms as well yesterday at Sugarloaf and in Crestline. However, there was a second structure fire in the Crestline area. There was one north of Lake Gregory the day before yesterday, and yesterday there was one over here in Cedarpines Park. Both of them resulted in significant damage to those homes. As a reminder, especially with Thanksgiving cooking going on, cooking fires represent about 30% of all the fires. Heating, whether you're using a heater or a potbelly stove or a fireplace, heating, especially in the winter months, results maybe in about 50% of the structure fires. So make sure that you check your appliances, make sure you check your chimney, have it cleaned and swept. If you haven't done it, that should be done annually, depending on the type of wood that you're using. Please don't burn trash in your fireplace. Have a screen on your flue to prevent sparks from leaving your chimney, and then have a fire extinguisher available. Crime, just one reported on the mountain in the past 24 hours over there in the Crestline area. A person arrested for being in possession of a controlled substance. And lastly, you might have received a notice from Southern California Edison yesterday that there's a potential for public safety power shutoff, not to be confused with the Edison scam phone calls that have been going out saying that you have to pay your bill. These you can follow along, sign up at Edison. You can get email, phone call, or text message telling you, but you can see basically from Arrowbear all the way to Cedarpines Park, there is a potential that Southern California Edison will turn off power, not to the entire mountain necessarily. These are individual areas, and they'll have crews out roaming. Might be the reason why there's no power outages, scheduled maintenance outages going on today, because they're resting up their crews, getting them ready to patrol over the holiday weekend and to respond to incidents of power lines down. With a wind event this strong, there is possibility of branches breaking. There's chances of trees falling down into the power lines. So they'll respond quickly with that and then isolate that power to that region. And then, of course, if the winds get very strong and there's potential risk to their infrastructure, they'll shut off larger areas. But you can sign up for those notifications so that you'll know that it's happening, so that you're not surprised. But be prepared otherwise. Expect that if you are in this area, that there is a chance that you'll lose power. It could be for a few minutes. It could be for a couple of days. So make sure you have enough emergency supplies and provisions in place. So that's all I have for you today. It's too early. I just checked a little while ago. We don't have our new stats for COVID out yet. So I'll do a separate post for that. I also probably won't do a live update over the holiday. I'll just post updates on Facebook, unless there's a serious event. If there's something major going on, we'll definitely go live maybe even go out to it when it comes to power outages or fires or anything like that. But otherwise, have a very safe Thanksgiving weekend, and thank you for watching.